Hey guys, welcome back to Around the Campfire with AmeriCamp, the ultimate summer camp podcast. Today we have Megan, one of our amazing influencers here, just to give a little bit of information about her camp experience and what it's like creating content and things like that. So do you just want to start off with introducing yourself and what camp you went to?
Yeah, sure. So hi, my name is Megan and I have been at Tyler Hill Camp for the last 2 summers.
Amazing. What role was it that you did?
So I did 2 different roles. So my first year I was a general counsellor, and in my second year I was a cheerleading specialist, sort of like the head of cheerleading.
Oh, amazing. I bet that was so fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. I feel like stepping up from general counsellor to sort of running my own programme was quite a big step from the first to second year, but it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. But how was your sort of summer overall? Like, what was your favourite part of it?
So I think it depends. So my first summer, I think my favourite part was getting to know my kids, because I absolutely love them, and I feel like it was just so special. I didn't really know what to expect, and I think the bonds that you form with your kids are a lot deeper than I thought they were going to be. So I feel like that was definitely my favourite part of my first summer. And then I think my second summer was sort of going back knowing that I wanted to like leave my own mark and do my own thing and make a difference to like a wider group of kids rather than just one age group. So I went back knowing that I wanted to go and implement cheerleading, which hadn't been at my camp before, and just sort of bring in this element to the kids that I knew wanted to do it but didn't have the opportunity to. So I feel like that was my favourite part, doing the performances with them and seeing them just like love it so much.
Yeah. How was the change to sort of being a counsellor to changing over to cheerleading?
It was really different. I think I didn't expect it to be so different. So I was very lucky. I had the same group of kids my first and second year. So I had them as teens and then as CITs. So I was really lucky in the sense that I already knew the group that I was going in with. I already sort of established the like foundations of like bonds with them, so that was quite nice. So then going to cheerleading, it was weird because I wasn't spending as much time with them. I was used to going to every activity with them, spending like day in, day out with them, and to have to leave them. And I remember sometimes them saying like, Meg, we don't see you, like we haven't seen you today. And I'd feel really sad about it. I'd feel like, oh my gosh, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm a parent that's going to work too much. Like, this is horrible. But then when I was down at cheerleading, I absolutely loved my co-counsellors down there. We had Harry and Taylor, who are also AmeriCamp influencers as well. They were my gymnastics squad, and I just loved spending all my time with them. They're the best people ever. And I think teaching what I love was something that I really liked, because it's something that I'm passionate about and something that I wanted to bring to camp, and the fact that they let me bring it was so amazing. And I think it was hard not spending so much time with my kids, but then it was also nice getting to know other kids better, getting to know other co-counsellors better that weren't in my sort of division. They were with different age groups of kids. So it was definitely a jump, but I actually really enjoyed like the responsibility of it. I think it suited me very well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think it probably would have made you so much more confident as well, and just more like secure in yourself, which is obviously amazing. Obviously you've done 2 summers now,
Yes.
but like thinking back to before you ever went to camp, did you have any sort of expectations of what the summer might be like, and did it meet them, did it not? Like what did you sort of think about it going into it?
Yeah, so I actually applied for the first time in 2018 to go to camp in 2019 to go in 2020, and then obviously COVID happened and I couldn't go. So I feel like I had watched, I was 18, 19, so I watched all the YouTube videos. TikTok wasn't really a thing then, but I was watching all the YouTube videos. I thought I knew everything. I was like, I'm so prepared to go. And then when COVID happened, I thought, oh, well, maybe this is just something that's not meant for me. And then when the opportunity came around to go again, I thought, okay, right, I'm going to go and do my research again, because I'm a research person. I like to know what I'm going into. And I thought I knew everything about it. I thought, it was, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, maybe less work than it was. And then I think when I got there, I was like, this is amazing, but I'm on the clock 24/7, and, I have to get to know everybody and know everybody's names. And I think you don't realise what an all immersive experience it is. You think, oh, I've got time off, I've got whatever, and of course you do, but like when you're in it, and you just have to give it your all. And I think I didn't realise how much giving it your all impacts your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we talk about the camp bubble, And that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Like, it's literally a bubble, and everything in the
So
outside
true.
world just is irrelevant at that period in time.
Doesn't
because
exist
it's all
anymore.
about camp. It's the strangest feeling. It's like, it's hard to sort of portray that feeling to people who haven't done the program, because it's just like the weirdest feeling, because nothing matters outside of those walls. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. And I think I didn't realise that, because I'm quite a homey person, in the sense that I love my family and I love to keep up to date with them and let them know what I'm doing. And it just got to the point where I had to sort of give it a couple of days and be like, hi, I love you all, I'm sorry, I'll get in touch soon. And then on a day off, I'd have a nice call with them. And it would be, I think that's also what I didn't expect to I didn't have as much free time as I thought, but then also it's quite nice in a way, because you utilise that time off so well and you really want to make the most of it and spend time with the people around you. And I thought I was going to want to call home more or feel more homesick than I did, because it was my first summer, was the first time I'd ever been away from home, like abroad, like the first time I'd ever been on a flight by myself, anything like that. So I think I expected to feel a bit more homesick than I did, but you're kept so occupied, there's no time to.
And even like going off it being so 24/7, like it really is 24/7. But you know, and we always say it's going to be a hard job for some people, but it's the most rewarding thing that you can do as well. Like, you've just got to stick through it, and you'll realise how much it's worth it, you know, working all them hours. It's just the best thing ever. I
think they said at my camp, I think it's quite a common knowledge, but it's like the hardest job you'll ever love. And it's so true, because you love it so much, but it can be difficult at times. And I think you don't really anticipate that going in, but it's good to know, but it's also so fun.
100%. Like, it really is. But, you know, don't let that put you off if anyone is listening that wants to do it. Like, it is hard, but it's the best thing ever. Like, genuinely the best thing ever.
So rewarding. It's hard work because you're on the clock 24/7. It's hard because you could get tired, your social battery can get drained. You just learn things about yourself that you didn't know before you went. You know, I think I didn't really know how much charge I needed, how much time I needed to recharge my batteries, I don't think I knew how sociable I was until I went to camp, and I thought, this is only 3 months, I want to make the most of it, so I want to go out as much as I can and be as sociable as I can, and I'll sleep when I get home, it's fine. And so I think when people say it's challenging, it's to go in and know that you might have moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to sleep, I just want to not be on the clock right now, I just want all of this, and then suddenly you'll get a night off. You come back and you feel completely rejuvenated because you've had so much fun with all your friends. So yes, it's hard, but it's so enjoyably hard and so rewarding. And everyone sort of goes, oh, this is, you know, I didn't anticipate this. And then they finish the summer and they're like, I have to come back. Like, this is the best thing ever. So don't let it put you off. This is why we will keep going back.
I also think the whole experience is completely life-changing as well. Like, I personally went to camp like quite reserved. I didn't really speak to new people or anything like that. And then I come back and I'm literally a completely different person in like all of the best ways. And I have seen at my time at different camps, like, people start the summer not feeling confident in themselves, and then they end the summer like completely different, and it's really nice to see, and it's really nice to experience as well. And people don't really think about that aspect of camp as well either.
I think some people just go and have an amazing summer and it's great and they love it, and they go and they're like, that was amazing, it was a great experience. You know, I personally don't know anyone that's come out of it and gone, that was the wrong decision for me. Like, I actually don't know anybody that's done that, because you know, you learn so much from it. But I know exactly what you mean about it changing, like, it's changed my life completely. Like, I started cheerleading at university and I loved it, and I thought it made me more outgoing, and I thought, oh, this is great, but, you know, I don't know if I could teach. I don't think I could teach. Like, I'm not a teacher, I'm not good at that. And then I got to camp and they were just like, well, you're so good at it, like, you should teach it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try it. I'll try it off my own back and see if it works. And these kids loved it, and they saw the program that I did, even, you know, just sort of because I wanted to share it with these kids. And I heard so many of them saying they wish that they did cheerleading. And now, having left camp, like, I want to be a cheerleading coach, like, as my career. And I think I definitely wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have gone, tried it out, and realised that I'm actually good at this. I'm good with communicating with kids, because you don't really have those opportunities at home to try that and just think, oh no, that's not for me. Whereas at camp, you give it a go, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. And if it is, you've just learned something about yourself that could be so valuable. Like, so many people go to camp and think, okay, I really like teaching, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, whether it's whatever it is. I think you come away just a completely altered person, and I definitely did, especially after my first year. My confidence just skyrocketed, even with traveling, you know. I mean, I'm in Australia right now, so it's I don't think I would have done that if I hadn't been to camp, because I met so many people that were like-minded to me and just wanted to travel, and I hadn't been around people like that before. So I think it changes you in more ways than one, definitely.
You know, with the aspect of teaching and things like that, that was something I never really even considered. And like, I was like, oh, I'm no good with kids. Like, I don't really know what to do with kids and things like that. And then, you know, since that first summer, I'm just like, I enjoy being around kids and like teaching them, and just like hanging out with them, getting to know them and things like that. Like, it's a really strange feeling that I didn't know I would have. And it just unlocked that part of me. And I'm like, maybe, you know, I could have gone into teaching, or I could have taught something. And it's a really strange feeling to think about, but it is the wonder of camp. You know, it does things like that.
Yeah, it just opens so many doors for you and changes so many perceptions that you had, like, of teaching, because it's such a fun environment and everyone is so like wanting to be there. Everyone wants to give, everyone wants to help, everyone wants to pitch in here and pitch in there, and, you know, join in with arts and crafts and dual painting and things that you would only do when you're a kid. So it's like the best time to go and just let loose and be a kid and try loads of different things out and realise what you like and don't like, as well as helping the kids realise what they like and don't like. So I think that's what I loved about it.
You spend, you know, 8 to 10 weeks during the summer being a kid and getting paid for it. Like, why would you not?
Why would you not? It's honestly amazing. I remember so many days, me and my friends going on the like the inflatables on the lake and just being like, we're getting paid to do this. Like, this is amazing. Like, why doesn't everybody do this?
Sort of to just talk about Tyler Hill a little bit more. So what is your sort of favourite camp tradition that happened whilst you were away at camp?
I mean, there's so many. I feel like I really enjoyed Starfish. So we had Starfish every Friday evening, and all of the letters stand for something. I'm not going to repeat them all now because I won't be able to remember them all. But it's basically just like respect, appreciation, and each letter is represented on each Friday throughout the summer. And then at the end, it's basically like however many letters are in Starfish each week. And it's throughout the week, the kids, the counsellors, everything are all recognised for their contribution to that area. So if someone's been appreciative, if someone's been respectful, if someone's been a good friend, and sort of around the lake, we're all there, and it's normally a beautiful evening. The weather's normally great in Pennsylvania where my camp is, and you're just sitting watching the sunset over the lake. And especially on weeks like appreciation and stuff like that, everyone just really felt that sense of like, we're so lucky to be here. And I think that's something that stood out to me, and why I loved it so much is because the kids were very aware that they were really lucky to be there. And I think a lot of them, like, they didn't take it for granted. They love it. And, you know, my kids have just finished. They were just CITs last summer and they're finished now. And I know that they're so devastated to leave. Like, these kids love it so much. And so I think those Friday nights were my favourite, where it's like the whole camp comes together. It's chilled out. It's fun. There's a few songs, but it's just, you know, recognising people that have done well. And I think it's just looking for the good in everything, which I really enjoyed a lot. That was my favourite tradition, definitely.
Yeah, that's so lovely. I think it's so lovely for the campers and the counsellors as well. Like, to realise that you're doing something that actually means something is like the most rewarding thing.
What was yours? Did you have something similar at your camp?
Yeah, so on Fridays we'd have like a huge campfire. I'm sure this happens at a lot of camps, but the whole camp would come together, just gather around the fire pit and just sing songs that everyone knew and dance along and just like read poems and stuff. And the CITs would have a theme for the week. It was sort of similar, and they'd like write a poem about it and they'd read out at the campfire, and it was just like the most lovely experience. And you'd see all the siblings would sit together, and like the counsellors were all sitting together, and it's like kind of emotional.
I know, it really is.
It is. And like there's this one song that you'd play every campfire, and it, you know, it like close out the campfire and everyone would sing it together. Like they'd be on each other's shoulders, like holding hands. Like it's the most lovely thing. And as you say, like it's usually at like a sunset, and it's like the loveliest views as well. Like it's just the nicest thing.
So beautiful.
Don't know what these things are like until you've done camp as well. Like you won't know what the experience is like. And I think that's what I'm excited for, is of these next group of people that are going out this summer, is for them to experience these things for the first time as well. Like they're gonna love it so much.
I think I remember thinking that as a returner as well, thinking, looking at all these new people thinking, oh my gosh, you're just gonna love this so much, and going to Starfish and just seeing everyone like when they win their first award. And we'd have we had counsellor meetings every Saturday, I think, every Saturday evening, and it would just be a time where all the counsellors could let loose. They'd play music, they'd do a raffle, they'd give away, you know, hoodies and hats and trainers sometimes and all sorts of random things. And they would also just give their appreciation to staff members that had done really well that week. Like you'd win you'd win a starfish for like the starfish, or you'd win a fish, which is, I don't know, just because of starfish, I don't know. And they just became like a symbol, and they gave it out. And when you won it, you actually feel so good because you're like, oh my gosh, all my hard work is getting so recognised. And you know, obviously you don't do it for that reason. You do it because you want to be there and you want to help the kids, and it's amazing in itself. But sometimes when you just feel like you're putting your best efforts into it, it's nice to feel like, oh, I'm being recognised without even realising, like people are seeing like how much I'm putting into this, and that's really nice to know that I'm appreciated. So I really like that they did that. But yeah, I think it's just it is quite emotional, like seeing everybody just actually really be happy and appreciate where they are and just be somewhere solely for the purpose of having fun. Like I think in the UK we don't really have something like that. I didn't ever have something like that at home, and it's just an experience that you can't get just weather-wise. You know, I don't know, like even just like the songs, the traditions, like they go back so far sometimes, and it's so nice for them to sort of bring you into it for a while, and then you just don't want to leave.
Yeah, I know.
It's so hard to pull away.
And even if like you do go for one summer and that's it, like a lot of people do that, at least they'll have that like special memory and that part of them that they got to experience that as well. And so it's just a nice little like family to be a part of, regardless of what camp you went to. Everyone is sort of in the same boat, and it's just so nice.
It really is. And I think that's the kind of thing as well. Before I went, maybe I had like a preconception that, you know, if you were introverted, you shouldn't go to camp, or, you know, and I'm quite extroverted, but I wasn't so much before I went. And I was thinking, oh, you know, is this going to be right for me? Or, you know, is this right for my friend? Should I tell her to do it if she's quite quiet? And I actually think there's just now having been there, is just a place at camp for everybody. And I don't think whether you're introverted, extroverted, whether you like, you know, arts and crafts or singing or rollerblading or anything, like there is a place for you at camp. Like there really is. And, you know, getting placed at the right camp, and you know, you just will find your people. You will just gravitate towards each other. And I think it's not like school. It's not cliquey. People don't go there to hang out in a little group. Everyone wants to get to know people. Everybody wants to make friends. And everybody that goes is so open-minded. That's why I liked it so much, because I felt like I found people that were like-minded to me, who were just wanting to travel, wanting to have fun. And they're still like my absolute best friends. And I speak to them all the time. And I think the friends you make at camp are really like friends for life.
There is this sort of preconceived notion that to go to camp you have to like teach a sport or like, you know, be really extroverted, and that's just not the case. Like you can go and you can do arts and crafts, or you can do drama or anything that you're sort of interested in, or you can do none of it and you can just be a general counsellor. Like there is a position for everyone, and there are even the most niche things at some camps. Like we hired someone who went and was a Dungeons and Dragons coach at a camp, and I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But there's like
that's amazing,
the most niche things, and honestly, like there's a place for everyone, and it's I think that's really special as well. I think that's really nice. Just to sort of finish with camp, so where did you sort of travel after camp, if you did travel?
I did a lot of traveling actually. In my first summer, I really went full out. So it was I was just finished my second year of uni, so I had like the whole summer. I didn't have anything to do, and I was really lucky in the sense that a lot of people that I went to camp with were also in the same boat. They didn't have anything to get back for, they didn't have to rush. Everyone wanted to travel, everyone was in that same position. And I think no matter where you go to camp, you're going to find a few people that think that, because I think I sort of went in thinking, oh, maybe I'll just come home afterwards. I booked like a flexible return, and then as soon as I got there, a few weeks in, everyone was like, okay, so you're going traveling, right? Okay, let's all, and it was, you know, whoever's there, come, join in. So I ended up booking a few nights in New York City afterwards, which is actually really special because my camp's only a few hours from New York City, and it's sort of where most people start. They normally fly into New York from the UK, and then we all get the bus to camp. So it felt like a big full circle moment. Everyone had finished camp, we all went to New York, we stayed in a hotel together. we all stayed, I think there was like 3 of us girls in like one double bed, because we were just, and it was like the most space ever. We were like, this is amazing. And we slept for so long, and it was just amazing. We just went out exploring together. It was just the best time ever. And then we went down to New Orleans, which is somewhere that I've always wanted to go. We stayed in a hostel. I think there was about 15 of us, actually. There was so many.
Oh, wow.
And we went out and saw all the live jazz and went for dinner, went for drinks. We just had such an amazing time. Like, New Orleans is such a special place. I really, really recommend going there on your travels if you can, because it was incredible. And then me and one of my friends were debating whether to go to Denver in Colorado with a few people or go to LA with some other people. And we ended up going to LA, and we had the best few days. We went to Universal Studios. We went to the beach, and then a few other people joined. There was, again, like 10 of us. We honestly had a crazy time. We went to the beach for the days we played volleyball on the beach. We lived out my Hannah Montana dream being at Santa Monica Pier. And just had a great time. We got a bus down to San Diego, had an amazing time there. If you can go to San Diego, definitely go. It's beautiful. So many beaches. The old town is amazing. And then we went to Vegas. We were there for about 4 nights, I think, which was crazy. Vegas is definitely the craziest place I've ever been. And then me and one other friend flew to Chicago, stayed there for a few nights. My brother was there, actually, so I got to see him, which was amazing. And then flew back to New York, and then home from New York. So I really did, like, I think it was 3.5 weeks. So I went up just like a few days before my visa, and I did everything. I felt so like satisfied with my travels when I'd finished.
I love that. Yeah, you're like, you're there, you're in the country, like you may as well travel while you're there. Like,
exactly,
it's cheaper than flying back over.
Exactly. And in my opinion, you know, I guess it's just different positions, because my second year I just went to Nashville for, I think, 5 days afterwards, and that was incredible. Nashville was the most amazing experience ever. It's so camp. It's so, everyone from camp just thrives there. It's so amazing. It's just country music, fun. Like, I can't even explain it. It's just the most amazing place. Just cowboy boots everywhere. I should have bought some. I still regret it to this day.
Yeah. I think our travels are actually kind of similar. So my first year, which was 2022, we finished camp and then did a few days in New York, and then went down to New Orleans as well. And
really?
We were probably there at the same time.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
But it as you say, New Orleans is crazy. Like, it's
amazing,
so wacky and like unique, and it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Second year, so last year, I went to Nashville as well. We've
just been following each other.
Yeah,
around.
Literally. And there was, like, genuinely walking down the street in Nashville, I saw about 15 people from my camp. Everyone was in Nashville for some reason. Not sure why.
Everybody
it was so
just
strange.
Collectively decided to go to Nashville this year. I don't know what happened.
Genuinely. It was, I don't know. Like, I don't get it. Mm-mm. But there was just people everywhere, and like, you'd just like go on Instagram and you'd see someone else was in Nashville. I'm like, oh my God, where are you? Like, let's hang out. It was the strangest thing. And I think that's what's nice about traveling after camp, is everyone is everywhere. And no matter where you go, there's gonna be someone there probably from your camp. And you just
who's
meet
going to
up
want to
with them.
see you and want you to be involved. Everyone's so welcoming always, wherever you are.
100%. And you're just hanging out with them, like, on a more personal level as well, like outside of the camp experience as well, which is great. But yeah, don't know why everyone went to Nashville this year, but everyone went to Nashville.
Nobody went after my first year. Like, I swear not one person that I know of went to Nashville. Like, it was not even mentioned. I don't know why I didn't think of it, because I've always wanted to go, but you know, it's sort of group mentality. We just decided on these places, and then we all went, and I was happy about it. So I think this year I was like, no, I want to go to Nashville. So we got a group of us and went to Nashville.
It is the best place. Like, it's so fun. The vibe is just so fun.
Amazing. It's honestly incredible. And everyone was staying in the same places as well. There was like 3 different places, and you just see someone in your accommodation or your hotel and just be like, oh, I didn't know you were here. But yeah, my first year traveling, I spent my entire paycheck on traveling, because I just thought, do you know what, I might only be here once, this is amazing. And then when I came back, I actually went to Nashville and went home with some money. So you can do both. It's 100%.
Yeah, it just depends. Some people go home as soon as camp finishes, like they just want to go home and rest. And some people aren't ready to go home yet, and they just want to keep going, which is exactly. You know, which is great either way. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of moving on from that, is there anything else that you want to talk about, or do you have any sort of suggestions or recommendations or anything to anyone who's looking to do AmeriCamp this year?
I think don't be scared to go by yourself. I feel like it's such a fear for people to go feeling like they don't know anybody. And I remember even the first day that I got there, I just sort of looked around, and I'm one of those people that I can't process things until I'm there, until I'm in it. And I got there and I was at camp and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't know anybody. This is crazy. And then about half an hour later, somebody came over to me and was like, oh, do you want to come make some bracelets with us? And I was like, okay. And I went over and I found out that I'm really good at bracelet making. I don't know why. I don't know how. I made about 10 in an hour, and everyone was like, can you make me one? Can you make me one? Can you make me one? It became like a known thing that I could make bracelets really quick. And I'd never done it before. And I remember sitting there and thinking, oh, okay, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. And from that moment onwards, just feeling like, okay, these are my people, like this is where I'm supposed to be. But also at the same time, don't be put off if you don't feel like you found like your people like straight away, because the people you meet in orientation and the people that you even really get on with, sometimes you might not see them at all. Like I was in upper camp, a lot of my best friends were in lower camp, and you don't see each other on like a day-to-day basis. It depends how big your camp is, but my camp is huge, and I didn't see a lot of those counsellors day to day. And then my friendships with the people around me in my divisions grew, my friendships at cheerleading and gymnastics grew in my second year. And you find your friends wherever you are. I just think it's really not a worry. You meet people on your days off. You meet people on your third day off and you think, I've never seen you before, but actually I think we're going to be best friends. So yeah. I think just don't be nervous going in by yourself, and don't be nervous if you don't think that you're fitting in straight away. Just give it a chance and you will settle into the groove of things, because it's an overwhelming experience and it's a lot of change. It's a culture shock if you're coming from the UK sometimes, because there's a lot of singing, everyone's very loud, the food is so different, and you get used to it and then you go home and you miss it so much. So yeah, I think just don't put too much pressure on yourself to feel like you have to feel settled instantly, because it will happen. Give it 2 weeks and you'll be fully into the swing of things. Yeah,
that's exactly what we say, is just get through them first 2 weeks. Like those first 2 weeks can be the hardest because you're jet lagged, you're tired, you're overwhelmed. But once you've got through those first 2 weeks and like the kids are there and you're getting into the swing of things just completely change. Like you'll be so settled in and you'll just love the whole experience, but you've just got to push through those first 2 weeks.
And I think another thing that I would say is just don't be worried about what age group of kids you want, because often the camp they almost know you better than you do. So at our camp, I don't know how it works at others. Some camps might pre-assign people to age divisions. But at our camp, they sort of they ask you your preferences, your sort of top 3 preferences. And I preferenced the youngest kids, like the freshmen and the cadets who are, 6, 7, 8, 9, sort of that age, because I just thought I'd be better with younger kids. I don't really know why, I just presumed. And then I got to camp and they sort of keep that in mind, they keep your preference in mind, and they sort of just observed us and talked to us through orientation and saw how we communicated with people, saw how we connected. And I remember sort of 3 days before the kids came, they pulled me aside and just said, look, we think you'd be really good with the older kids, 15-year-olds. And I was like, really? Are you sure? And they were like, yes, yeah. And that really scared me, because I'd never really been around, I have a brother and he's a year younger than me, but I hadn't really been around people, like girls that age. And I thought, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this. And they were like, no, just like trust us. We do this every year. We know you're going to be good. Don't worry. And honestly, I was so scared. And then as soon as they got there, a couple of weeks in, I was like, this is the best decision ever. Thank you so much for putting me here. And I said that to them at the end of the summer. I said, thank you so much for just knowing me better than I knew myself and trusting that I'd be good in this position, because I absolutely loved my girls and I loved being with upper camp, and I loved, it all just worked out so well for me and in that age group. So I think don't be disheartened if you don't get the age group that you think you want, because often it works out better because they know where to put you. They've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I was in the same boat as you. I had the 14, 15-year-old girls, And
Oh, yeah.
at first it's like, oh, what do I do? Like, what if they hate me? Or like they think I'm like not cool or whatever. And then it was like, I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I loved them all. They were so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think camp will be different depending on what age group you have. Like if you have the youngest kids,
100%.
you'll have a different experience with them and you'll have a different experience with everyone. But with the experience that I had with the teens, it was like life-changing. Like it was genuinely, I couldn't have wished for a better division. And, you know, thanks to camp for putting me with them, because it was definitely the right choice. Yeah, it was definitely the right choice.
Trust them. They know what they're doing.
Oh, definitely. They've been doing it for way longer than we have.
So much longer than we have.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? You're more than welcome to promote your TikTok page if you want as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, go give me a follow on TikTok. Happiness with Meg, and I just post some camp content and some motivational content, and I do a lot of answering questions about camp. So if you want to know anything else, just head over to my page and give me a follow.
Absolutely. Megan, you're the best. Thank you so much.